Hi, it's Marc Laurenson here, and I get a lot of questions about the nodes. People mostly wanting to know what the south node in a particular sign is all about. Saying I've got the south node in Sagittarius, what does that mean? Or I've got the south node in Taurus, and I've always wondered what that meant. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a whole series, and I'm going to go through the south node in all of the signs. Now, what I'll be doing is pretty general because when you're doing the south node in a person's chart or just understanding the south node, you have to put it in context, of course, not only with the sign that the south node is in, but also the house, of course. The ruling planet of the sign and where that is in the chart is going to be really important. It's going to add extra dimension to the flavor of the south node. And also any planets that are in aspect to the nodal axis are also going to come into the picture as well, which is going to make it much more specific for the person in question. But what I'm going to be doing just for the this little YouTube video series that I'm going to be doing is do a very catch bucket kind of understanding of what the vibrational energy of each sign is about when it's brought in a south node context. So we understand the south node is something that we've brought in like an emotion memory from before. Most of us call it a past life memory. This is not about believing in past lives, of course. And if you don't, and if it's uncomfortable for you, then you just have to put it into the context of something that was brought in from before, whatever that means to you, maybe through the family, or something you were born with, something that came in with you as you were born. So let's start off with the south node in the sign of Aries. So when you're looking at the south node in Aries, the emotion memory or the vibrational pattern that comes in with Aries is always going to be around battle. They've experienced fighting or war in some kind of way before. Now, this could be literally, they could have actually been out there on a battlefield, or it could be more figuratively, like battling for survival, that kind of thing. You can be battling in relationship, you can be battling for money, but it's always going to be this feeling of being challenged and being challenged in a way where there's stress involved, anxiety involved, high adrenaline is usually part of this. And so people with the south node in Aries come in with this conditioning within them, particularly around competition and particularly around the need for challenges and the need to have a foe. And when I say the need to have a foe, I don't necessarily mean there's a feeling of constantly having to fight with people or to oppose people, but I feel that most people with the south node in Aries have this feeling that they always have to come up against something or someone. And so they could have experienced, as I said, aggression in the past life before. It's a kind of an aggressive emotional flavor that can come in with them. It could even be violent. It doesn't necessarily mean they were. They could actually be on the other side of this. But I find that the South Node in Aries people are usually very anxious, very tense. They're always kind of on the edge of things, meaning any minute now, like in a battlefield, being a soldier in a battlefield, any minute now, something can happen, a bomb could go off or you could get raided. And so there's always this feeling of keeping on your toes with the South Node in Aries. Now, you can go down the track of using all the good Aries words of the leadership qualities, which they would have had, in a strong sense of independence, which they would have had. Also, you can go down areas of self-fullness, people who lived life for themselves. Some people might have called them selfish in a way. That also comes in with the South Node in Aries. But there's also going to be areas where all this was stifled or all this was trapped. all this wasn't allowed to happen. A lot of people with the South Node in Aries, if you're going to be looking at other parts of their chart that affect the South Node, that had their will taken from them, or they were disempowered in some kind of way. That comes into it as well. But the need for the need to come in with this feeling of needing to fight back in life again, this feeling of life is a battle, can sometimes be a very strong emotional attachment that South Node in Aries people have. And so they need to be able to go over to the North Node. The North Node needs to be integrated this lifetime. It's relatively new to us. It's unfamiliar territory, so to speak. But for us, it's imperative because it really does help us smooth out any of the South Node angst, especially with Aries. And we're going to be looking at the sign of Libra, of course. Of course, we're going to be looking at the house that it's in as well as any of the aspects that it's making, to give you an understanding of what the Libra energy really wants. Now, Libra is about, for in the context of the South Node in Aries, Libra is about calming down. Libra is about chilling out. Libra is about coming into the context of a relationship and being able to share and being able to cooperate, and being able to be in an equal situation with somebody else, coming into partnership or coming into equality, harmony, finding fairness and finding justice. So there's a need to make friends here. There's a need to be able to come to a place of peace. So if you're looking at the South Node in Aries as being in war, then the North Node in Libra is about making peace. So the need to calm down and the need to be able to relax, basically, and to come into some form of coherence, and cohesion with somebody else, and is going to be really, really important this lifetime. Also, an understanding of beauty, an understanding of aesthetics, being able to see harmony in life and be able to express that in life is going to be really, really important. So you can actually see where this is going to be the major healing agent for people who bring in the highly energized and highly strung Aries South Node.